this award season, right? And we got the Oscars coming up. We already had some awards, go out, and we've seen the nominations and things like that. And we actually, you didn't know, we did the Geek Awards last week. So we already did our awards for all the best movies, TV and anime, and all the best performances and all that stuff. But in the midst of that, me and the homie Chris had a conversation that I thought was dope about just the this happened off stream or off podcast, but we were talking basically about Michael B. Jordan versus Timothée Chalamet. And for me, like, the whole point of not the whole point of the conversation, but the biggest contention point that everybody was talking about was like, basically, if Michael B. Jordan was going to win, was it because he played two roles or because he had the better performance, right? And the thing about for me, when I chose best actor, as far as like what I put my vote in for the Geek Awards, was more so about the role than like necessarily like the actor per se in the, and it's kind of hard to say because it's confusing, like the actor's ability to act versus like the role that they actually played. And for me, Michael B. Jordan in Sinners as Smoking Stack was my favorite performance of the year, right? And my favorite role of the year. And because Marty Supreme and Sinners are such different movies, each actor had a different kind of opportunity to do something, right? Where it's like, I can't take away Timothée Chalamet's performance. I can't take because he didn't play two characters as like a knock on him. Like, I didn't look at it as that, and I didn't look at like when Michael B. Jordan played two roles as like a major thing for that, because those are things that are like, as far as like the other person, you can't control that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think for like the actual winner, right? For me, it really came down to the fact that like, once I understood what Marty Supreme was, his performance, Timothée Chalamet's performance to me was still good, right? But it was like, I kind of got normal. Like, it wasn't as like, I don't want to call it not as impressive because he did go crazy, right? But it's like, I kind of got used to it. It wasn't like something that I was like enamored by, essentially. And I think obviously Sinners to me is a better movie than Marty Supreme, but like the smooth talk, gift of gab, high energy type of role, like from like acting chops, from a context of like line standpoint, that might, depending on who you ask, favor more into Timothée Chalamet's realm. But to me, it was more so how different Smoke and Stack were, and their growth trajectory and like character development throughout the movie that really sealed the deal. Not so much that he played two different characters, because that's like just a cool thing to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like the same thing, it's like if somebody was like method acting, or like, they never come out of character while they're doing it, like that's just something like I think is cool, right? But like when it came down to the actual performance, and the one I felt the most, not say just connected to, but like the one that impacted me the most, it was definitely Sinners. It was definitely Smoke and Stack, mainly Smoke. But yeah, I just feel like the conversation is interesting, because through that conversation I got to see what was more important to Chris specifically when it comes to what acting is, and we just two friends doing a podcast, right? So when it comes down to the people that's actually doing like the Oscar nominations and all that stuff, and putting together the list, like, I know it's not easy, because it's like, at the end of the day, it comes down to taste. And for me, what was more impressive in Sinners might not have been more impressive to Chris in Marty Supreme, or vice versa. Hopefully that makes sense. But I just think it's an interesting dynamic, and when it comes down to voting, and it's not something as simple as like, who had the best monologue, because there's like different forms of acting and the different mannerisms and different things that go into it that might go unnoticed. Like, outside of the surface level, but if it's the loudest part of the movie, then it's like, yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's why they both are getting nominated, you know? But at the end of the day, it just comes down to like, okay, you got to make your case. And at that point, it's a vote thing. So it's like, it's a little different. You know what I'm saying? With the Geek Awards, it's just me and Chris. So it's like a back and forth conversation and we come to a conclusion, you know? And sometimes one person weighs more than the other. And it's just like, you got to, at some point, bring it together. And that's why I was like, yo, that conversation could have been a pod in itself. But I was like, you know, I'm going to talk about that on the stream real quick because it's like one of those things where I'm like, yo, this is something I've noticed directly between these two, but this happens all the time. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully it didn't just like, you know, it probably will end up like, you know, being something that gets not taken out of context in like a negative way, but like will be something that's like an ongoing conversation, ongoing thought that, is one of the reasons why I love my comment sections, because it's like, y'all help me work through some ideas myself that like gives me new perspective on things. So it's just like, you know, I just want to put that out there, see what y'all consider, because I should actually look up like what people like. Is it literally just checklist, or not checklist, but like a, you know, nominations and you just pick, or is there like criteria that people go through to like say who's the best actor or best actress? You know, that'd be interesting, because it's like if we took it in 2K terms, because that's where I really took it to, where it's like, okay, Timothée Chalamet, he might got 99 ball handling, but Michael B got, you know, 99 vert, 99 like dunk or whatever, like and then it's like, you know, it's just different, but it's still good, you know. But it's just like, what do you care about more? So I just thought that was interesting, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we'll keep on paying attention to stuff like that and have more conversations, see what y'all think about it. But yeah.